Hello, everybody, and welcome tonight here to Chicagoland Speedway here in the original Rebels Racing League for the Truckers Against Trafficking 200 here in the Saturday Night Send It Cup Series. My name is Zach Wetstein. I'm here tonight with Sam Wetstein and Logan Sturgeon. How y'all doing tonight?
Wonderful, wonderful. Awesome to be in Chicago.
Yeah, doing pretty good tonight.
We got 133 laps ahead of us tonight here at Chicago, mile-and-a-half racetrack, just like last week. So we'll see if these drivers can replicate what they did last week. It's a pretty tough task to go 133 straight green flag laps. So we'll see if they're able to do that tonight. They got a pretty hot racetrack here tonight with 104 degrees being the track temperature right now, and that's before we're going to have 20-plus cars racing on the track and heating it up even more. So looking forward to tonight's race, and we are about a minute out from the race. Everybody is qualified, it looks like, except for 3 people. So I'll throw it over to you real quick before we go over the grid. You guys, what are you expecting from tonight's race?
Mile-and-a-half track, but unlike most mile-and-a-halves, you're constantly turning left here, even on the backstretch, which you think is a straightaway. It's actually a little bit curved, and Chicago is a weird animal.
Yeah, it's about, even though it is similar to Kansas, it runs about the complete opposite to Kansas. You want to be as low as you can to the apron in the corners and roll in the corner as much as you can to save tires.
Yeah, you got to be very careful with the tires here tonight. Only 2 sets of tires, so we're gonna have to watch some pit strategy if there are cautions, and that's what's really gonna kind of spice things up here tonight. Just like last week, 2 sets of tires, and luckily for these drivers last week, no cautions, and so they didn't have to make any pit strategy calls under caution, and so we'll see if they have to deal with that this time around tonight. We're gridding up and ready to go racing here at Chicago. Pull up your grid for tonight's race.
14 1,000th of a second between first and third.
Cameron Combs grabs the pole spot here tonight with a 30.031 with Jason Warren on his outside in second. Garrett Kinder gets the 3rd spot tonight, and the outside of the second row is Joshua Sexton. P5 goes to newcomer Cody Pannell. He runs in another series that we broadcast on Monday nights, so he's looking to carry that. Maybe the winningness of that series for him, carry that over here. We'll see if he can do that tonight. Elliot Longenecker starting 6th with Jeff Paisley in 7th. P8's going to Jason Day with Jim McClendon in the 9th position. Tanner Maher sits 10th. P11 goes to Charles Stevens Jr. with Chris Heiner in the 24, starting this one in P12.
And 13th, we have Matthew Mann with Ray Page starting to his outside at 14th. 15th goes to Ken Leap. Joey Buscemi starting 16th. Spencer Gay in the 17th position. John Gallagher to his outside, the 18th spot. 19th going to David Hurt. Scotty Stevens starting 20th. 21st goes to Brandon Wallace with Tyler Rice in 22nd. Phil, the Hitman Manzo in 23rd with Michael Swink in 24th. Matt Geist 25th. Chuck Feltz in the 26th position rounding out our field and might be race control. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so at least over 20 cars here tonight. We'll find out how many we actually have right now gridded up. We have all but Matt, so we'll see. Yeah, he might be race control tonight. So if that's the case, we got 25 cars here tonight, which is a great field. You don't always need, with NASCAR, they have 38 constantly. You don't even need that to have a good race, as this series has shown before. 25 cars is definitely enough to put on a lot of action and a lot of clean racing as well.
Oh,
yeah, I was amazed last week, but not amazed. I mean, we got some great guys in this league and in this series as well. And 163 laps of green flag. It would be neat to see that go again tonight.
133, just to correct you there real quick.
33.
Sorry, go ahead, Logan.
I just was going to say before we go green, I want to give a shout out to Matthew Mann. I know he's been dealing with a lot of personal issues that have taken him away from our league, so it's really good to see him back racing, and hopefully he's back for the long haul.
Absolutely great to see. Matthew Mann He's going to be starting this one in the 14th position here tonight, or 13th, sorry. As we are ready to go racing here. That pace car is soon going to take that left onto pit road, and we're going to get going for 133 laps here tonight. As Jason Warren and Cameron Combs, your front row, going to lead us to the green flag. They'll wait for the iRacing green.
It's time to go get her, boys.
Green flag is out. Even start all around up front and throughout the field. The race for the lead is on. As you look throughout the field there, everyone side by side going into turn one, and they start to fan out almost 3 wide up to that very high lane.
Well, that's some awesome racing going on back there. Yeah, it's wide, but it's tricky up there at top, especially that turn 2. That wall will come up on you quick.
Yeah, the good thing about Chicagoland is it can provide a multi-groove racing surfaces. We have one off into the infield.
Jason Day in the grass. And he actually just got out of the car and took a tow. As your leader, Cameron Combs, had the pole spot and took advantage of it. He keeps the lead, but we still got a lot of battling going on for P3 as Joshua Sexton takes that away from Garrett Kinder.
Yeah, these guys are going to have to wait for a couple laps for these tires to get warm. Chicago is a slick track, as well as the temperature being over 100 degrees. It's going to make it that much tougher for these guys to keep these cars under them.
Yeah, and Kentucky can be a really tricky track when it's hot, and they won 133 laps on that surface. So definitely doable here tonight as well. But that's the bad thing when you go 133 laps green flag. If there can be anything bad, it's you kind of set a standard for the next race, and sometimes that can be tough to withhold. As Cody Pannell and Elliott Longenecker make a pass on Garrett Kinder. Garrett has fallen back 3 spots. He started 3rd. He's sitting in the 6th position. Elliott Longenecker's moved up 2. He's in 4th, but a lot of battling going on further back in the pack right now. As it looks like Joe Buscemi side by side right now on that inside, but that figures itself out, and they are single file now, as that was Ray Page and David Hurd actually.
Yeah, I had spoke to a couple of the guys before the race, and it seemed like Garrett Kinder and a couple of the other full send guys, their goal was to save tires from lap 1. So they're falling back now, but once other drivers burn off their tires, don't be surprised to see a lot of them up in the top 5 or the later the run.
I think I made that call with Garrett last week, and as soon as I said he was saving tires, he started making a charge to the front. So I'm glad you said it instead of me, because the opposite happens when I say stuff like that.
Well, no, Sam, you were right. That was our plan, but we didn't realize that Jason had hit the nitro on his car and was about a half a lap behind us, so we had to go.
Yeah.
6 laps. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. He was on his own planet there for a while.
We are 6 laps in, coming to lap 7 into this race now. Cameron Combs still your leader. Jason Warren under fire from Joshua Sexton. He's going to go to the low line to try to take away that 2nd position, but if you know Jason Warren, he's going to fight all he can on the outside for that spot. As he does a really nice job, and he holds that spot. Last week we saw him be the dominant car out front and a lot in the clean air, and right now, at least for now, only 7 laps in obviously, we are seeing him in 2nd in some dirty air, so we'll see how he's able to manage that early on in this race, as he has a lot of people lined up behind him.
I saw him working with that middle line there in practice and not going so deep as he goes deep now. But I think you can get a little momentum there. If you don't go too high off the 2, you'll be all right. And Longenecker's going to come up and take that position away. Sorry, Sexton.
Yeah, Elliott Longenecker, you're on board with him right now on the 5 machine as we watch this battle go on in front of him with Joshua Sexton and Jason Warren. Sexton looked like he had the spot, but Warren is really using that middle lane well to fight back, as actually Elliott Longenecker under fire as well from the 80 of Cody Pannell. I talked a little bit about him when we were looking at the grid, but not too much. He runs in the ARC series that we do on Monday nights. He's won 3 of the 4 races that we've run so far in that season. So very dominant in that series, and he's very good in these Cup cars, and he's already moving up into the top 3 now.
Yeah, Sexton had to back out of it coming out of 4. He was drifting up high towards Warren, and he got it under control, but had to back out of it, lost some speed, and has lost a couple, 2, 3 spots now.
And, you know, this is all playing into Cameron Combs' hands. These guys are fighting side by side for position. They're burning their tires off, and Cameron's just sailing away right now.
Yeah, he is an 9/10 lead over Jason Warren, setting it on cruise control right now. I did fail to mention, and I apologize, that this is the last race of the regular season for this series, and Cameron Combs here in the 15, he is not a new customer when it comes to the lead and winning races. He has 4 wins on the season, and he currently has a very dominant lead in the points, so he has that locked up coming into this race. So really all he's looking for from this is some extra bonus points going into the playoffs, as we'll have a bye week next week, and we'll head to, I believe it's Texas for week 1 of the playoffs.
Yeah, Cameron Combs has shown some flashes of speed earlier. He's had a tough couple of races over the last few weeks, but been running up front. Some issues getting him towards the back, but yeah, he's out front here right now. The only thing he's got to battle right now is his own mind, and remember to hit his marks and keep going smooth and save his tires, and he could run away with this.
Jason Warren is keeping it at about 8/10, so those two running very similar lap times right now. And really, I would say from 1st to 8, we're seeing a lot of similar lap times. We had a 31:11 from Cameron Combs. Our fastest time was Joshua Sexton with a 31:03, but the next, I guess, slowest time outside of the 31:19 from Tanner Maher will then be Jeff Paisley, who put down a 30.9. So we have about 8 drivers up front who all ran a 31.1.
Yeah, that yells out to me that everybody up here is in tire saving mode, especially after last week's green flag run. I think they're anticipating the same thing tonight, so it's time to make sure you can make that fuel full. Yeah, the whole fuel run. And it's one of those nights.
It happens.
But make the whole fuel run without losing time. So you want to keep in touch with the leaders. You want to keep up there, but you also want to save your equipment.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Go ahead.
I will say that the people that can do that are aliens, because I have not been able to figure out how to be fast and save at the same time.
Yeah, Zach Whetstone.
I'm not sure the fuel run here tonight, but if they can make it to halfway, I'd imagine at least once we get to that halfway mark, we'll start seeing some people pit. I believe that's what happened last week, but my memory is a little short on that. But I believe we did have them get to halfway, and then we started seeing pit stops. So we're pretty far from it right now on lap 16, but just keep an eye. You mentioned the fuel. Keep an eye on around lap 63 or so for pit stops. But obviously with lap 16, pretty far away from that 60 mark. So right now, it's all about who can run the best on these older tires as we start to get closer to 20 laps into this run. This is really where those tires are going to take effect of who saved the best. And we're going to find that out as Cameron Combs right now, he's built that gap up to 1.2 seconds now. So he is starting to gap Jason Warren little by little as we go on.
Jump down, talk to Elliot Longenecker and Garrett Kinder down at Full Send Racing, and 60 laps seems to be the fuel run.
Well, thank you to them for making me sound a little bit smart, I guess.
Well, that's going to put them just under halfway. So if this were to stay green, you're going to see that second pit stop come with about maybe 15 laps to go. So the second pit stop is probably going to be the deciding factor in who wins this if this stays green.
I would think if they had 3 sets of tires in the pits, that somebody might want to cut this into third. But with only 2 tires in the pits, I agree with you. Run a fuel run, get tires, and then save that last set of tires for that last 15 to 20 laps. Agree with you on that one.
We will take a quick look. Well, we have multiple drivers at it, but our highest, biggest mover is Spencer Gay. He's moved up 6 spots. He started this race in 17th. He's up to 11th right now. They're in that 11 Toyota machine there in the, I believe it's the, oh, there it is, the orange and yellow car, 11. So we have multiple cars that have moved up at least 6 spots. David Hurt has Michael Swink, Chuck Phelps, but Spencer Gay is the car nearest to the front that has moved up 6 spots so far.
Yeah. And another shout out to Matthew Mann. After being gone for so long, you'd think he'd be a little rusty, but he's holding his own there. He's only lost 1 position, and I believe that was to Spencer Gay.
Yeah, he's sitting there in that 78. Like you said, sitting in 12th right now, just outside that top 10. But like you mentioned, when you take a break from anything, you're going to be a little rusty when you come back. And right now, he's not looking rusty, as he has gained a spot since the start of the race. So he may have not gained a lot of spots, but he hasn't lost any. He's gained a spot, so a great job by him so far.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of these guys are pretty content with just riding where they are. They realize, it's a long race, and after last week, you have to think from now on, is this race going to be the next one that goes green and checkered? So these guys are probably just kind of hanging out, making sure that they can save their tires enough to make this 60-lap fuel run not as painful.
Yeah, so I was correct. We have Texas Homestead, and Charlotte all in the playoffs, all a mile and a half. So when we're talking about these mile and a halves and how they went green all the way last time, and kind of a standard set for these mile and a half racetracks, well, we got a lot of them in the playoffs. So we're also learning these past couple races, and really all throughout the season. But at this point in the season, we're learning maybe some important information about who's best on mile and a halves, because I mean, other than Michigan and Talladega, we have 3 mile and a half. So these races, maybe Cameron Combs, it doesn't matter as much to him because he already has the regular season championship locked up. But he's got to know what kind of speed he'll have on mile and a halves. Although, Texas, Charlotte, and those tracks are different, but they are the same in length.
Yeah, maybe we've got a new standard. Instead of cautions breeding cautions, green flag laps breed green flag laps, man.
I'm good with that.
Me too. Some people don't like it. Some people, I love it. There's drama, there's strategy, there's all kinds of things. This is some good racing.
Yeah, that's the thing you don't see in NASCAR anymore. Is you do get strategy, at the end of the third stage when they can't make it on fuel, but you don't get that, strategy from the start of the race to the end of the race. If you have a lot of green flag laps, it's not the same kind of strategy, just because, those drivers in NASCAR, they know that they have 2 cautions that they will have for sure, and so they know that even if they fall back, they'll have another chance. And so when you run these types of races, say you mess up in qualifying and you start in the back of the pack, well, you never know if you're going to get that caution or not, and if you don't, there's just no chance, no matter how much speed you have, of winning that race. So that definitely, the strategy that comes into play at these longer races like this without, any scheduled breaks, definitely bring a lot of strategy and a lot of fun racing.
Yeah, strategy has helped me out twice in the past week, so I'm all for strategy.
Zach, and you were talking about, Sam, you were talking about how green flag laps could breed green flag laps, and it's crazy to think where this league started, and you could see back then a long green flag run might be 10, 12 laps, and you got guys praying for green flag laps to get out there and race, and now you got guys praying for a caution just to be able to get a couple minute break.
Yeah. This league has come a long way. We've had great people in this league from the start, but yes, everybody is figuring out that a better way to get around the track and clean and that's not necessarily 12th, you're 13th, you're 14th. You're not going to win that race in the next two corners, so take it easy and come up with a different way to get up towards the front instead of dive bombing people. And there's a lot of respect in here, and it's starting to show up in all of our series.
I thought I would take a quick look. We mentioned Matthew Mann earlier. He was in 12th behind Spencer Gay. He's now past Spencer for 11th, and he's right on the back bumper of Charles Stevens here for a top 10 spot.
Well, it didn't take long to knock that rust off, did it?
You can see he's using the middle lane, probably trying not to burn off his right front as much as some of these other guys have been running the bottom.
Running the bottom can save that right front, but if you miss the turn by just a little bit, that is the danger that you running that bottom. Because in 3 and 4, it's extremely bumpy, and so if you hit the bump at the wrong angle and it pushes you up the track, that automatically is going to kill that right front a good amount, just because that's going to scrub off some of the grip it had. So you're absolutely right. He might just be running that middle so he doesn't take the chance at maybe getting tight off the turn off of the bottom. So Charles Stevens is starting to gain a little bit of a gap back on him right now, running that bottom.
Yeah, but Mann is I like what he's doing. He's running nice, smooth laps. He's running the same line. He's really taking care of those tires. I got a feeling that a few positions are going to back up to him.
Yeah, don't be surprised if we see Mr. Mann towards the front in the top 5 towards the end of the race. I remember before he had to take time off, he was always a good, solid driver.
Well, he's got to love what he's come back to.
Yeah, I mean, this series started out well. We had really good races, but not at least last week, and it's looking like it's going to be a good one here tonight. 33 straight green flag laps to start it out, but we didn't have these type of runs. We would at least have 3 or 4 cautions maybe, which isn't a bad race in itself, but it's still the way these drivers have been racing here recently in this series, right before the playoffs too. What better time to start having these green to checkered races than right before the playoffs, because if you're a contender for the championship, once those playoffs start, if you have speed, you don't want a lot of cautions. So some drivers like seeing this, and like you said, some don't, just because they want a little bit of a break.
And Matthew Mann, top 10, just moved into the 10th position, motored past Charles Stevens.
Well, you guys better get your popcorn ready, because these playoffs are going to be wild if this is the type of racing we're looking at.
Yeah, I'm not for certain. I'm not for certain yet what the points are going to look like in terms of bonus points and stuff. But we'll have a bye week, and then we'll have the playoffs starting in 2 weeks. So just know that when we do get the playoffs, when they do come around, we will have that information for you guys. But I mean, all you need to know right now is that I mentioned it earlier. Cameron Combs, he's leading right now over a second over Jason Warren, 4 wins on the season, trying to cap it off with 5, at least the regular season. Consistent season from him. He's finished 8th, or average finish of 8th this season. So he's definitely the one to watch for in the championship, or for the championship. But when you have Jason Warren, Elliott Longenecker, Garrett Kinder, Tanner, I mean, we have so many names in here, Jeff Paisley, that can come up and steal that championship from him. So it's not a done deal, even though he had a great regular season. But he put himself in the best possible situation he can going into Texas.
Well, I will tell you, even though Jason has not had the best luck in the regular season, I've talked to him the last couple weeks, and he is ready for playoffs. And do not be surprised he somehow pulls the championship out, because he is bound and determined to not only get a win but to bring that championship home.
Well, hey, I mean, right now he's still about a second and a half, maybe a little under a second and a half back, but he's the only one staying with Cameron Combs right now in terms of speed. Elliott Longenecker's 2 seconds behind Jason, 3 seconds behind our leader. So right now, Warren is keeping Cameron Combs honest right now. He's making sure that, you know, Cameron Combs can't just sit up there and relax. He's got to make sure to keep running a good line, a good race, because if he slips up even a little bit, Jason Warren will be right there.
I think that might be the last thing you want if you're a driver in a championship run, is an even more determined Jason Warren.
Well, if there was an end of season list of awards, I would probably hand out the most improved driver. I'd give that to Jason Warren. He has always been a short track driver. He is, and you guys know, he is insane on short tracks. At the beginning of the Cup season and the Xfinity season, he never understood how to save tires. Like with short track racing, you know, you're driving the wheels off that car every single lap, and tires aren't as big of a factor as in these big races on these 1.5 mile tracks. So Jason would always run a fast time, but would not understand how to save tires, and he'd fall off real fast. Now that he understands how to save tires and still be fast, they better watch out.
And looking back here in the back, Joshua Sexton just lost 2 positions to Chris Heiner and our man Matthew Mann. So some cars are starting to fall off a little bit on these older tires.
Yeah, Tanner Maher, I've been eyeing him. He started 10th. He's up to 6th right now. So he's had a really consistent race there in that 08 Ford Mustang. So far in this race, he's looking to try to get a top 5, but he is 3 seconds back from Garrett Kinder. So he has a little ways to go there, but, you know, with pit strategy going to start coming into play here soon in about 20 laps or so. I mean, and speaking, I lost track there a little bit, but when I think about pitting under green, I've raced with Garrett in this truck series now for a while, and by far, I think he's the best that I've raced around in terms of getting on and off a pit road under green flag stops. He beat me off of pit road when I was leading over a second ahead of him at Kentucky. So he doesn't really have many positions to gain right now. He is 2 seconds back from Cody Pannell, but he can at least make up some of that 2 seconds on pit road with how well he seems to get on and off.
Yeah, green flag pit stops here are they're kind of rough because of how of where the pit entrance is. It kind of sneaks up on you, so you have to be ready to. You better be up on that brake in time to get to that yellow line while holding your car under control, because it is very easy to spin out trying to get to pit road under green flag here.
So 60 laps is the fuel run. You can't. That's not halfway, so you can't make it to the end. Who tries to short pit? Who tries to run it out to the bottom of the tank? Some of the drama is going to start to be coming into play here pretty soon.
Well, with the sets of tires that they have, I think short pitting this would really kill any chance that those drivers had of getting to the end and having a chance to win. I think you have to run this one out as long as you can. I think you need to run both out as long as you can, and hope that you get a caution somewhere around maybe lap 100. You can come in and get that final set of tires, and looks like we already have somebody on pit road.
I think we have someone who's going to split it in the thirds. That's John Gallagher. With when he's pitting, he's got to be cutting this into 2 pit stops, or 2 pit stops where he'll pit. Maybe around lap 90 or so.
I didn't think it would be this early, but I thought maybe lap 50. If you're going green, you come in lap 50, and if you get another green flag, if you keep going green, come in at lap 100 for your last set to run out to the finish of the race, and maybe set yourself up to gain some spots because you're a second and a half faster with those new tires. And we got the 40 on pit road as well.
David Hurt down pit road. So a couple of guys down pit road. We'll see if that attracts any other names, but I imagine our leaders and really the majority of the top 10, if not more, are probably going to stay out a lot longer than those drivers did, at least until they can stretch it out as far as they can on fuel, just to try to make it as close to halfway as you can. I know that, they said that they can make it to lap 60 and that's about it, but I've been told some things and then they make it longer than that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Tanner Maher down pit road. He's our first top 10 taker.
Well, that's going to bring a bunch of people down.
Yeah, and this is tough because, man, if we run even 15 or 20 laps after this, you got to make a tough choice if a caution comes out and you pit right now, whether to take tires on that next stop or not, because, part of you wants fresher tires just in case you go green the rest of the way. But, you also want to maybe save that set just in case you have a later restart.
Yeah, I think if you were running outside the top 10, you're going to run this field run as far as you can. And I got to think, since some of the top 10 have come in, that we're going to see the rest of them as well.
We're not seeing our leaders go yet.
No.
Well, Cameron and Jason have opened up such a lead that they can do a little bit more saving of fuel, so you might see them stay out a little bit longer since they have such a big lead.
Cameron has opened up that lead over Jason Warren about 0.6 since the last time we looked at it. So Cameron Combs running really consistent laps right now. He was actually in the 32s while a lot of people were in the 31s behind him, at least the 4 people behind him, but still very consistent laps. And when you're about 2 seconds ahead, you don't need to always be the fastest, just be consistent enough to at least keep that gap over second place. No real close battles going on right now that I see. We do have Matthew Mann. He just moved up to the 7th position. One of those positions gained was from Tanner Maher pitting, but he was up to 8th before then. Joshua Sexton down pit road.
Yeah, he was losing positions really fast back there. He was outside the top 10, and I know he was screaming for tires, so I think he just finally said, I got to go get some newbies.
Spencer Gay trying to track down Charles Stevens here for the 9th position. This is 9th and 10th right now.
Yeah, you got a couple of teammates there, so I wouldn't be surprised if you see them coming to pit road at the same time.
And we are now 52 laps into this race. No caution yet. We'll see if that's able to last the rest of the race like it was last week. Still a long way to go, though, guys. A lot can happen in the next 80 laps or so with our leaders. It can happen anywhere in the pack. You see one pit road mistake, and that can bring out a caution. So got to be very careful. You mentioned, Logan, it can be tough getting onto pit road. So you want to get in as quick as you can, but it's better to get in a little slow than to wreck yourself trying to get in fast to pit road.
Oh, yeah, and with the way that Cameron and Jason are driving, if they have a little slip up like that and have to slow up a little bit more, they can easily make that time up. You can make that up a lot easier than the time you lose spinning out.
Yeah, spinning out, speeding on pits. I mean, you can. Oh, and here comes our. No, he slowed down. It looked like he wanted to come down pit road, but he does not. And that's going to hurt him a little bit in the lead over second place, Jason Warren. But say we do go green the whole race, one pit mistake in terms of speeding or any type of penalty will absolutely kill your race.
Yeah, especially if it stays green. If you get a caution, you might be able to get lucky and make up for that mistake. But now Cameron's on.
Yeah.
Cameron
no.
Combs gets loose.
Oh,
and
no.
Ben's coming into pit road.
And he can't go
and
into. He hits the cone. That's going to be a 40-second hold, I believe. So, yeah, Cameron Combs, that's going to hurt him a lot here. And caution is out, actually, because he's slow on track, I imagine, unless there was a wreck somewhere else. So, first caution of the night, unfortunately, for our leader, Cameron Combs. And he didn't go down pit road, so we'll see if it gives him the penalty. But if you hit that cone going into pit road, usually it gives you one. We'll see as he didn't go down pit road. That would be big. If he's able to not get a penalty, that would be big for him.
I got to think there probably will be one, but we'll see here.
So first caution of the night comes on lap 57, and that still is going to jumble things up a little bit because we're not, if 60 laps is the fuel run, I mean, we were just coming to it anyways, but that means that we still won't be able to make it to the end of the race without another pit stop for these drivers.
Yeah, that caution coming out was probably the best thing that Cameron could have gotten.
Yeah.
I believe the 40-second hold is under green, so it's still going to hurt him, but it might not have hurt him as bad as if they would have just stayed. If they would have stayed green.
Yeah, that's going to cost him going a lap down, I believe. But I think he probably, like you said, probably could have went 2 laps down if he'd been able to get back into the pits without the caution.
Yeah, we'll just see what he does when it goes green. I believe you have 2 or 3 laps before you get another black flag for not pitting. So we'll know within the first couple of laps of the restart whether he did get that penalty or not. As now it's a little bit easier, but you saw Cody Pannell, he was a little too far in his pit stall and had to back up. So it's under green, but you're still on old tires, and you got to be careful when you're braking into your pit stall.
And it's tricky getting to the into your pit stall. You think you're slow enough, and then you hit the brakes, and you're just sliding right through. There's nothing you can do about it.
He didn't get a hold here on caution, so.
No, if you get a hold penalty, it'll be under green, unfortunately. That's the bad thing is, I mean, you mentioned it, Logan. If he does have a hold penalty, it still hurts him, maybe a little bit less, but it still does hurt because, I mean, we just had 57 green flag laps. So if, we can have another run like that, if not better to the end, then it's still going to ultimately hurt him. And, I mean, we talked about it for laps, laps and laps before he pit. And we saw him, I said he might be going to pit road. He slowed down. He missed the entrance to pit road the first time and then made that mistake the second time. So, I mean, it just shows. Cameron Combs, a great driver, leading in the points, 4 wins, but even he can make mistakes on pit road under green.
Yeah, it looks like he is human.
Yeah, and I think I've said it before. It comes down to practice. The guys are still, they practice the long run. They practice that, your hot laps for qualifying, and sometimes you forget to practice going into pit road.
Yeah, and sometimes people practice going onto pit road, but not on old tires. And it's a whole different beast when you go down on fresh tires compared to old tires. And so maybe that's what happened to Cameron there, whether he practiced it or not. Unfortunately, he did make the mistake in race, and that could cost him. I mean, he was the fastest car all of that run, and I mean, you said it, Logan. You have such a big lead, even though it's only about 2 seconds over Warren. It's at least 3 or 4 seconds over everybody else, and then the gap gets bigger the further you go down the standings. So if you need to have a slow entrance to make sure that you make it on with no penalties, sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and do it. But you saw he tried to get everything he could, and it cost him as he spun out there.
That could have been a little bit of frustration from missing pit road the first time he wanted to go, coming in a little hot the second time.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that lap car had anything to do with him trying to get to pit road the lap before, but I know I couldn't see who it was, but I know he was dealing with the lap car on fresh tires, so I'm wondering if that had anything to do with him missing pit road.
Well, your front rower right now was your 1 and 2 runners last week before Warren wrecked out late in that race. So these two used to running around each other. They're teammates in Full Send Racing when they race in this Cup Series, and so they know how each other drive and they know what they can do as a 1-2 kind of partnership, I guess you could say. I imagine they'll work together on this restart so that both of them can stay 1-2.
And Matthew Mann up to 5th. Had a starting 13th in his first race back after his hiatus. Well, doing a good job here.
Actually, it looks like
you called it, Logan.
It looks like all the top 3 right now are all full send guys. So those 3, I wouldn't be surprised to see all 3 of them get the best jump out of anybody.
You called it, Zach.
Yeah, Elliott struggles a little bit. He spun the tires just a little bit, but they do all 3 stay in that top 3 or those top 3 spots. But Garrett Kinder right now all over the back bumper of Jason Warren for the lead here early on, as it's single filed out more up front and not really in the back though.
Is this where you get a little gas happy, where you forget about your tire saving ideas when you're running in second place and you're wanting to get up there in the lead?
Right now, if I'm in that car, I mean, this is where it can happen because, you know, and I'm not saying Garrett Kinder himself, but when you're in Garrett Kinder's position in second, you know, say you're running 5th all race, you can really stick to the mindset of saving tires, and then you get loose. And then you get into second. They're wrecking behind him. Oh, and big contact for Cody Pannell, as I can't click on his name because everybody's name is showing up in the headlights. Caution. No caution is out. He hits that wall really hard, and I believe Elliott Longenecker was the other person a part of that. He was.
Yeah.
So both of these two go back outside of the top 20 now, and like you said, no caution. That puts Jeff Paisley in second right now with Matthew Mann in third. On the outside, Cameron Combs doesn't look like he had a penalty. He's in 4th right now, making a pass for 3rd.
Yeah, that got started when Garrett came down on that white line a little too deep, got a little loose. Trying to check up and save it up, and got some other guys checking up and caused those two to go spinning into the grass.
And I mean, now that I think about it, when I hit the cone one time at Atlanta, I still went into pit road, and so it deemed it an unsafe pit entrance. But if you hit that cone and don't go in, technically you didn't enter pit road. So I think that's probably why you didn't get the black flag or the 40-second hold under caution, and that has him now back up to second, and we know the speed of that car. But we haven't seen him in dirty air yet, so we'll see how he handles that. If he's able to clear Jeff Paisley here, if he's able to catch Jason Warren, we'll see if he's able to pass him as easily as that car has shown it's been able to run tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Jason's loving seeing these guys run side by side, but that quickly fizzled out. So Jason's just gonna have to hit his marks and you know, keep an eye on where Cameron is, but there's still a long way to go.
Garrett Kinder looks to the inside for 3rd over Jeff Paisley, as Matthew Mann might try to follow him. He's not going to be able to, not close enough, as Jeff Paisley going to fight back on the outside. This is a battle for 3rd, and Matthew Mann kind of a spectator right now in that 5th position, just trying to see which lane is going to ultimately come out with the 3rd position, and the inside line with Garrett Kinder does.
Well, if I'm Matthew Mann right now, I'm loving what I'm seeing. First race back, I'm sitting in, I think, 5th or 6th right now. These guys are racing hard. I'm just kind of hanging out right now, saving my tires, and I'll make those moves up here soon in a few laps.
And Cameron Combs restarted 10th, and Kinder got shook back to 5th, and he's moved back up into 3rd. Got some fast cars behind Jason here.
Yeah, you got to think that wreck there, checking up cars, definitely helped Cameron. But we're not doubting anything about that car. He definitely has a lot of speed. But that did help out a little bit, that there were about 5 cars that had to check up.
And Jeff Paisley got a little loose coming out of 2, and Matthew Mann takes that 4th position away from him.
What a run so far for Matthew Mann. Not our biggest mover, actually. We'll take a quick look real quick. Chuck Feltz, he's in 7th right now. He's up 19 spots from the start of this race.
Did he take 2 tires?
No, he was showing up. He was showing right outside the top 10, I believe, before that. And obviously with the 2 cars that wrecked, that moves him up a couple spots. So a great run for him. Cody,
way to go, Chuck.
Yeah, great run from that 75 machine.
And Cameron Combs has run down Jason Warren.
Currently, Cody Pannell sits in pit road, and Elliott Longenecker sits in the 20th position both are going to hurt very much from that wreck with no caution, as they're not given a chance to fix their cars under caution.
I don't know if Jason has anything for Cameron. Cameron is just on another playing field tonight.
Yeah. Jason's not going to make it easy.
He's going to put him in as much dirty air as he can, but this is a bigger track, so, you know, you can try to put him in dirty air in the bottom, but then Cameron Combs can just move up to the high line or the middle line. So it looks like Jason Warren protecting that middle lane, because I really doubt that he's just giving it up. So it looks like he thinks, and it does prevail there, that he thinks that middle line is the place to be when you're battling.
Yeah, you get a run out of the corner. The momentum you carry out of the corner if you run that middle lane, especially once you get on older tires, it's very difficult to make that pass on the inside. So Jason's not blocking him, but he's definitely not making it easy on him either.
And you're forcing Cameron Combs to dive deeper down into the corner, using up more tire eventually as well.
Now to lap 72, Jason Warren, Cameron Combs running away from everybody while not battling, but certainly ready to anyways. As you actually see Cameron Combs, he's going to go to the very high line, so he realizes that bottom line may not be working right now, and if Jason Warren's going to keep running that middle line, he's going to try the third lane out. We'll see if that works out for him. And if you're Jason Warren, if you see that work, then are we going to see him move up to block that line? So, I mean, just so many things can go on at tracks like these with so many racing grooves, the bottom, the middle. We're seeing the third lane maybe not be faster, but it works. And so when you have three lanes to try to, you know, put the driver behind you in dirty air, it can be really tough.
Yeah,
I would have never thought you could run that high around this track and keep any speed.
No, neither have I. Chicagoland has usually always been the low line is the preferred line, but I know, you know, with the new updates on the tire models and the dynamic track surface, you know, there's things that we haven't experienced yet that we're finding out with these long runs at these different tracks.
We are now left here with looks like 59 laps to go here at Chicagoland, and we assume that we're going to need to see one more pit stop. These drivers do have one more set of tires in pit road, so this could be one of those circumstances. You talked about how, Dad, you got a caution at the right time yesterday. Well, you know, we could see some cars try to stay out as long as they can on this run to try to catch a caution, and maybe have a set of tires that the other drivers won't if they pit a little earlier on. So I'm very interested to see how the rest of this race goes if we stay green.
Yeah, there's probably at least a handful of people out there already considering that.
And
I would be surprised to see anybody come in before lap 100 unless they've got problems.
And I'm kind of thinking of multiple situations in my head at a time. And I'm also thinking about, what if a caution came out now? I mean, that you have one set of tires. Do you take it now with the hopes that it goes green the rest of the way, or do you save it in thinking that there will be a caution in another 20 or 30 laps to where you can use it later in the race?
I would come in and get fuel.
Yeah, come in and get fuel, but no tires. I'd save that. I'd save that last set, and just hope that there's a caution.
But man, I mean,
yeah.
with how this series has run recently, I mean, we've talked about it all night long. With how it's run, we could easily go the rest of this race without a caution. We saw a 57 lap run to start the race, so we're now about 18 to 20 laps into this run. I would say those tires are starting to wear out more, and we're going to start seeing, once again, those faster drivers on older tires start to prevail. And Cameron Combs was faster last time around, but he's in that dirty air, and he's gotten up to Jason Warren, but he's just not been able to get around him, as Jason Warren really been a stickler on that outside or that middle lane, keeping Cameron Combs behind him. As we have some racing going on for P9 or P8 right now. Ray Page and Charles Stevens side by side out of 4. And Ray Page, I'm not sure if he already had the position, but he does make the pass going into turn 1 in that 41 machine.
Oh, we got somebody loose on the back stretch. I couldn't see who that was.
Was that Heiner in the 24?
I believe it was.
Christopher Heiner currently sitting 6th right now, and you are seeing Chuck Feltz gain on him pretty quick, so it probably was him. We saw a little bit of smoke, and you talked about it, Dad, a couple weeks ago, how iRacing removed the kind of the smoke when someone lags or blinks, and so when you see that smoke, you don't really question it anymore like you used to.
Yeah, you'd run around the track, you'd see smoke and be somebody blinking, but you see smoke and you think wreck and you want to back out of it so you don't get involved in it, but it's not. And yeah, it got confusing, and thank God it's gone.
Oh, see, you learn something every day. I had no idea that they had changed that.
Yeah, thankfully they did, because that was one very annoying thing on iRacing that they were able to fix.
I'm not gonna lie, when I saw the smoke on the back stretch, I had flashbacks to last week and Jason. I was really hoping it wasn't him again.
Good Lord, that was Christopher Heiner coming out of 2, got into the wall, got him loose, went down in the grass, kept going back up on track, and just wheeling it.
Chuck Feltz, he's still in the same position we saw him earlier, but he wants to make it 20 spots gained if he can make a pass here on Christopher Heiner. And if he did hit the wall, that's going to be some damage, and that can hurt you at a track like this. So we'll see if Chuck Feltz is able to, in the next couple laps, make a pass, and, well, he goes for it right now.
You know, I'm excited for Chuck. You know, it's always awesome to see different guys running up front, especially guys that, you know, have this was their beginning on iRacing, and to see them evolve, and like Chuck, you know, it's good to see, and it shows how well our league is that new guys can come in here and learn for a couple months and start really showing what they can do.
I mean, yeah, if we're going to talk about that, let's talk about one of our own here in the broadcast booth, my father. I mean, he started out in this league kind of maybe running in the back trying to learn, and now he's getting top 5s, top 10s all over the place.
Oh, thank you very much.
As Chuck Feltz does make that pass, and speaking of top 5, he's going to look to try to go into the top 5 here soon, but he has a long way to Matthew Mann, about 5 seconds, so it's not going to be soon when if he's able to get to that top 5, but we'll see if he's able to eat away at that gap with still a little while to go left in this race, under 50 laps now.
I'm coming for that truck championship.
Jason Warren still holding back Cameron Combs, but how long can he do it?
I think Cameron might have burned his stuff up by trying to pass Jason on the bottom so many times. He's still trying, but he just doesn't have the speed that he did at the beginning of the run.
And like I said, when I was looking at Warren back in practice, he was working that middle line. And I think that's really smart to make Cameron work that bottom to get around him. If he gets around you, fine, but he's going to burn up his tires doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like it really just completely is like the Joey Logano situation in the playoffs last year. He was not the fastest car. I can't remember what track it was at, but Kevin Harvick was all over his back bumper, and for 40 or 50 straight laps, Harvick just could not get past him. The dirty air stopped him from ever getting close to Logano, and that's really what's happening right now. Cameron Combs is getting rather close to Warren, even almost right up next to him in the turns, but he's just not able to get a good enough run off the turn to stay even with him.
Zach, I believe that race was Kansas.
You're
I
right.
could be wrong.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, that's what it was.
A case of dirty air holding back the fastest driver, and it's happening right now here at Chicagoland. But like I said, how long can Jason Warren hold off? He might be able to do it the rest of the way. I don't know. But, man, with Cameron Combs all over his back bumper, he basically has to be perfect every single lap for 50 or 60-plus laps. Not to mention, we're probably going to have to, or we will have to have another pit stop under green. And you got to think Cameron Combs right now in his head. He's thinking, please bring out a caution because he's going to be at least a little gun shy after what happened that last time around.
Oh, without a doubt, that's it. It's kind of like the same mentality as a quarterback throwing an interception. The next time they come out on the field, that's the only thing they're thinking about.
Ray Page wrecking on the front stretch. There's your caution. I saw him lose 2 or 3 positions at once, and yeah, unfortunately, big damage to that car. And there's the caution that maybe Cameron Combs wanted. Not only because he gets to pit under green, but he gets another chance at a restart to try to beat Jason Warren so he's not stuck behind him. We'll take a quick look at what happened here to Mr. Ray Page there in the 41. Taps the wall out of 4. And Joshua Sexton, unfortunately, caught up in that. You saw, the 18 of Jim McClendon get a little bit of it, and near misses there from a couple of drivers.
Yeah, we're going to have around 41 lap run to the finish here.
Now the question is, do you
tires.
take tires?
I think
Yes.
you have to. Absolutely. You cannot risk the rest of the race going green and you not taking tires.
Yeah, I think the strategy idea is out the window. You got to take tires here, I believe.
Honestly, I think the strategy, kind of has worked out. If the caution came out, like I said, around lap 75 or 70, that would be a tougher call. But you've made it to lap 90. I think that's close enough that you can take tires. But we're going to find out here what these drivers, if you guys can, or if Dad, if you can kind of keep track throughout the field, see if anybody does. Well, we'll see if somebody takes no tires because obviously they'll come out first.
Yeah, I'm looking at pit times here.
Now it's about getting into your pit stall with no mistakes. Is everybody you see? Oh, you saw Garrett Kinder. He had to back up a little bit, so that's going to cost him time. Cameron Combs taking tires. Jason Warren taking tires as well. So everybody up front taking tires. We'll see if anybody – we don't see anybody come take the lead away. So nobody took no fuel in that case. So I think everyone – or no, not no fuel, but just fuel. I think everyone in this field took tires.
So everybody's on the same.
Tyler Rice and Philip Manzo have stayed out though. But
Brandon Wallace.
Maybe they'll pit this time around.
Brandon Wallace with an 8.6 second pit stop, maybe 2 tires.
I was thinking maybe right side tires, but I mean, I don't know if I necessarily like the call because I mean, if there's a caution in 20 or so laps. Sure, you're going to have fresher left side tires, but the left side tires are just not as important as right sides, and I think that everybody, even on older tires, will be able to at least hold you off up front because there'll be a big enough buffer. So I'm not sure how I like that call if it was 2 tires.
Well, I backed up to look at his pit stop here.
But Jason Warren.
No tire.
No tires? Okay. It was either no tires or 4 tires for me, in my opinion, because of what I just described. But we'll see how it works out for him. If we get 20 laps, 15 or 20 laps and a caution, he is going to be sitting pretty.
I think, no tires, full tank of fuel. I think with an 8.6 seconds, maybe I just gamble with the rights. I don't know, but yeah. See if it pays off for him.
Well, these guys up front, there's really no, there's not going to be any holding back now. You got 40 laps, it's time to go.
I mean, he gained 2 spots up to 13th.
Yeah, and definitely Logan. I mean, we just saw what Jason Warren, Cameron Combs is absolutely faster. There's no questioning it. But we saw what Jason Warren can do in the lead holding him off. So that lead is very important. Nobody up here in the front can give an inch. Everybody is going to be racing for everything they can get because you know that everybody near the front saw that and was like, man, if I can get the lead, I can control second place, even if it's Cameron Combs, and try to win this thing.
We're going to have 39 laps to the end of this race. Tire savings done, right?
At least at the beginning of the restart, yes. Because 39 laps, while it doesn't seem like a lot, tire wear wise, it is. So
yeah.
I would definitely, I would drive hard at the beginning of the restart, like I said, to get the lead or keep the lead if you're Jason Warren. But it might be tough for Warren just because if he's able to get the lead or keep the lead, he's going to have to hold off Cameron Combs. Cameron Combs is going to give everything he's got. So Jason might not be able to take it easy, but people behind him, you see Garrett Kinder in third, fourth place Matthew Mann, Jeff Paisley in the 7 and 5th. Maybe take it easy because 39 laps is a long way to go on tires. So if you can save your tires and let those front two battle it out, you can maybe benefit at the back end of this run.
I see Matthew Mann do it. I see Matthew Mann taking it easy here. And I see Jeff Paisley charging.
Yeah, if you're Matthew Mann, you know you're not the fastest, and let those guys burn up their tires, and he's been great saving tires as the green flag's back out.
And Cameron Combs is going to have to deal with Garrett Kinder before he can even think about Jason Warren.
Now he's stuck behind two people, and that's even worse. As we have a battle for fourth right now, Jeff Paisley and Matthew Mann. Matthew does look like he's taking it a little easy. Cameron Combs going to try to get around Garrett Kinder while the tires are still fresh because I think while the tires – oh, no, I think we're wrecking in the back. Oh, yeah, big wreck. Philip Manzo, Brandon Wallace, who just took no tires, and the caution is out. So this is the situation where cautions breed cautions, and it looks like I think I'm on Philip Manzo right now. Yeah, he got maybe a little tight and hit the wall at it too, but let's clarify what happened.
Oh, Brandon Wallace.
Oh, net code. Yeah, there was net code for Brandon Wallace, unfortunately. We'll go back and take a view with him, but I saw it, and there was absolutely some net code going on here. Not even close to each other.
I had
that's really
looked
bad
like Scotty
code.
Stevens blinking out and blinking back in next to him and causing that net code.
Yeah, but he still that him blinking back in definitely caused the net code because they were not even close. That was a bad case of net code right there.
Yeah.
That's the bad side of iRacing, folks. It happens. It's an online thing. You have people all across the country, if not the world. So unfortunately, those things are going to happen. Brandon Wall's going to have to pit and get all that damage fixed. No quick repairs in this series, so he's going to have to get that damage fixed the hard way and sit there with maybe some required pairs and optional as well.
Well, if you're Jason Warren and Garrett Kinder right now, this is one of the best things you could see because these are that many less laps that you have to worry about burning your tires up.
Yeah, and these two are in a team channel with each other right now, and Cameron Combs is not with them in a team channel. So these front two, it happened earlier, and I imagine it'll happen this time as well. You're going to see Jason Warren and Garrett Kinder get the best jump out of anybody. Cameron Combs might be able to get a good jump just because he's right behind our leader, Jason Warren. But when you have a countdown from a teammate, there's nothing else better. And if you have a bad restart, it's all on you because if you're getting a countdown, you know exactly when that leader's going. So we haven't shown the schedule yet, so maybe during this caution we should. Here we go. So we have an off week next week, and then we head to Texas Motor Speedway for 133 laps. And we actually see Richmond there. Okay, Charlotte's the last race. I thought, for some reason, we had Michigan, unless it's...
It is.
Okay, well then I guess I don't have the updated one. Here, let me just fix that real quick. Here, we'll put you back here and I'll get that fixed real quick. And while I get this, what are you two expecting from this restart? Do you think, I know those front two are teammates right now, but you got to think Garrett Kinder's going to try to do everything he can to get that lead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I know they're teammates. I know Jason is really pushing for that first cup win. So I could see Garrett just falling in line and those two trying to run off from the field.
I think with them being teammates, I think Warren's going to give him a countdown, but it might be a microsecond delayed countdown, enough to get him past Combs, but not past him.
So is the Cup Series changing schedules along with the truck? Because I see an updated truck schedule graphic, but no Cup.
To the best of my knowledge, I thought we were switching. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But I mean, either way, to finish out the season, either Charlotte and or Michigan, both are great tracks, and they create really good racing in different ways.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte, you got a 1.5 mile track that with these Cup cars, pretty easy to run, at least earlier on in the run. And Michigan, a little bit harder just because it's one of those tracks, just like Fontana, where there's no, at Charlotte you run the bottom line just because, it's a really easy thing to see. You run next to that line. But Michigan, you don't want to run down next to that line just because it gets very loose. And so it's kind of hard to find a good marker on track to which lane you should run. And there's also multiple grooves you can run at Michigan. And so if that is the championship race, which honestly I kind of hope it is, that's going to be a really entertaining race just because of the multiple grooves.
Yeah, you'll have good racing all around. And it's time to go get her, boys.
Great jump from the top two. They're still about side by side, but it looks like Jason Warren's going to edge out Garrett Kinder as they stay top two. Cameron Combs stays in third, so everybody kind of staying in position, but they're a little bit further back in the pack. They're racing. That's Chuck Feltz and Spencer Gay there on the outside. Or, no, that might be Charles Stevens, actually. As Cameron Combs going for second and maybe the lead.
Oh, good Lord. I'm holding my breath.
These guys are flying.
Cameron Combs trying to get that middle lane. He saw it work. Maybe a little bit of a bump. Nope, we're not going to see that. But now Cameron Combs has that middle lane. We saw, he gets loose. That's going to hurt him. I was going to say that he had that middle lane, and actually he got a really good run off. I thought I saw him get loose, but he didn't. We saw Jason Warren hold off Cameron Combs in that middle lane, and now Cameron has that, and it probably the preferred lane in a battle. But, wow, Jason Warren, a great run off of turn 4, and he's going to hold the lead. This is getting crazy up here for the lead.
Yeah, he is trying to keep that air as dirty as possible and keep his car about 3 lanes wide.
Now, the only question is, can he do this for another 32 laps?
He did it for about 20 or 30 straight laps earlier, so.
It's going to be fun to watch, I can tell you that.
Yeah, he's definitely a fan of the tires growing older because it's easier to hold somebody in your dirty air when that right front is scrubbed off a little bit more. But when the tires are fresher, that dirty air doesn't hurt you as much, and it's really showing as Cameron Combs almost really side by side with him into the turn, unlike what he was not able to do earlier. And he's going to get a really nice run off of 2.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, man, the nerves are starting to kick in. I'm getting anxious just watching this, so I can't imagine what these guys are feeling right now.
Jason holding that middle lane there, making Cameron go to the high lane to kill off a little bit of his momentum, hopefully there.
Side by side for the lead, multiple laps now. Can Cameron Combs make the outside work? Caution is out. Scotty Stevens is around.
And I think Jason Warren was in the lead.
Yeah, I believe so.
And that just, I mean, as Jason Warren, you probably like to see that just because he was probably going to lose the lead the more that Cameron Combs was on that outside of him. But that just means you're going to have to go through another restart. And right now we're going to have Garrett Kinder in third behind Jason Warren. So once again, those two are going to work together. We're going to see, though, what caused this caution. Scotty Stevens in the 0-2. He got on the apron a little bit. That got him loose, and it just kept going. It kept getting looser and looser out of the turn.
Yeah, he's not had a good night tonight.
And Brandon Wallace, he does have damage, but I'm not sure if he took tires the last time he pit, but this would be a good time to do it, as these drivers up here, it's not been too many laps, but they've been battling very hard.
Yeah, Brandon's got the fuel. He was in there 31.9 seconds, so getting that, there's no fast repair, so appears he didn't have, maybe he didn't have too much damage, or maybe he's going to have to come back down and get some more damage fixed.
I can tell you, if you look at the back of that 99 car, he definitely had some damage.
Okay. So, yeah, you got a decision to make. Do you? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he took those tires when last time he was down there. Stay out and try to. You're not going to win the race if you stay out if you're him, but you might finish better than 20th that he's riding in now.
We're going to find out,
And he
though.
goes to the pits.
Yeah, we're going to find out if he took those tires. All right, let's see if those right sides go up. It looks like he did take tires last time, as he's just getting some damage fixed. Oh, we're going to have, well, under 30 laps to go, obviously, when we go back racing here, as we're already under 30 here. So, not a long way to go in terms of laps, but for Jason Warren, it feels like an eternity left, just because, you know, he's been in this position so many times to try to get a win in this Cup Series. Obviously, the heartbreak last week, so you know that his heart's pumping out of his chest right now, and he just wants this race to be at lap 133.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some more of that exciting racing that we just saw. We're going to have under 30 laps to go. What, about 27? It's going to be fun. I'm going to be holding my breath. Hopefully I don't turn blue before the end of this race.
Maybe like Cameron Combs' car, that shade of blue?
Yeah. I'll tell my wife to come check on me. If I'm purple, smack me so I'll breathe.
You got to think, though. So Garrett Kinder has been consistent tonight. Maybe not the speed that these front two have had, but those two were side by side for multiple laps on end, and the more they battle, Garrett Kinder was just sitting behind him, maybe saving those tires. Even if he doesn't maybe have the speed these two have, maybe he could have a little bit fresher right front, right rear, whatever it is, and make a pass late for the lead here.
I agree with you. I think if I was in his position there in third and saw them two battling, I would be trying to keep my position, but backing up every corner, trying to save some stuff and let them battle it out, burn it up, and let me come get it in the last couple of laps.
And don't look now, but Matthew Mann sitting in fourth spot right now.
He's had a great run from 13th spot and taking that layoff. That's amazing.
Jason Warren, Cameron Combs, Garrett Kinder, Matthew Mann, Jeff Paisley, your top five. Christopher Heiner, Charles Stevens, Chuck Feltz, Tanner Maher, and Spencer Gay round out the rest of your top 10.
I say amazing. Matthew's always been a good racer, but you would think when you take that much time off, you get a little rusty, and coming back might be, a little transition period, getting used to it again. But Matthew's proven me wrong.
Yeah, and he's starting on that outside line, so if he can match Garrett Kinder's restart and maybe Cameron Combs, he can use that outside line to his advantage to try to get near, if not to, the lead spot. But we saw great battling there, and that's kind of foreshadowing, I think, what our finish is going to be with the battling that we saw before that caution came out. So a lot of race left to go for these drivers. I don't think Jason Warren and Cameron Combs have been the fastest cars all race long, but I don't think right now I could really, tell you who I think is going to win this race right now, because there's a lot of things that can happen and a lot of cars that can still win this race up here. Yeah,
this is way up in the air. It's going to be fun. It's going to be very important for Jason to get the best restart he can so he can get up to his line. Because if Combs stays beside him on the restart, then it's going to make it real tough to hold him off.
Yeah, and we haven't mentioned it tonight, but momentum, that's a word we can use. Whoever it is, if you're eligible for the playoffs and you win this race, it doesn't matter what happened before this race, that momentum should be able to carry over to the playoffs as the green flag is out. Not a good jump for Jason Ward at all, and we're going to be 3 wide going into turn 1.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
Garrett Kinder
backing out of that one a little bit.
Jason Warren didn't expect him to back out. He went almost up into Cameron Combs as the battle for the lead is still on. 3 wide now. That cost Garrett Kinder. backing out of that. As Matthew Mann into the third position.
Oh, and he got, Jason held Cameron Combs up as high as he could. It was clean, but he kept him up in that high line, and that's just not good here on Old Tire.
Somehow, some way, Cameron Combs, the fastest car all night long, but Jason Warren, these last 40 to 50 laps, has held Cameron Combs off. But how much longer can he do it? Cameron Combs to the inside, and this battle continues to go on.
Yeah, I think Cameron might have him.
And a little wiggle from Warren. But he holds the position.
Oh, this is good racing.
Cameron Combs does have maybe a little edge over Jason Warren going into the turn, but man, Jason just knows how to run that middle lane very well when he's battling, and he's going to use it to try to take the lead back away. These two have not been more than 3 cars, 3 car lengths in between them the last 50 laps or so.
I think we're back to Garrett Kinder's made his way back up to third and recovered. And, he's got to be licking his chops right now. You guys keep battling.
Just how long these guys are able to stay battling is amazing me right now.
Yeah, if I'm Cameron Combs, I got steam coming out of my ears because he's done everything. He's thrown the entire playbook at Jason, and nothing has worked.
Nice crossover move, getting up beside him again.
Wrecking behind him.
Oh.
That's going to bring out a caution. They're spinning on track, I thought.
Oh, a caution.
No, that was just smoke. They weren't spinning out, but there is a car stopped in the grass. That's Elliott Longnecker. Tough race for him tonight after winning last week at Kentucky. As Jason Warren, while we were gone, has still held off Cameron Combs. They were side by side. And it's what really is amazing me about Jason Warren right now is it doesn't matter if he's on the inside. It doesn't matter if he's on the outside. He's somehow holding on to this lead. But Cameron Combs, a great run into 3 and 4, and that might be all she wrote. Cameron Combs back to the lead, and now we're going to see if he's able to run away or not as Jason Warren battles back to the outside, and it looks like maybe Cameron Combs got tight out of the turn, and that hurt his run off. And this battle just will not stop, and I'm loving it.
Cameron Combs, a little wiggle there. I don't think that I'm sometimes against diving down below that white line because that transition can get you loose.
Man, I mean, wow. Not a cautionless race like last week, but that doesn't matter. This race has been amazing, and this battle for the lead has just been absolutely everything you could ask for, and it's not even close to over 20 laps to go.
No, it's not. Garrett Kinder and Matthew Mann back there licking their chops. Jeff Paisley, they're all waiting on these two to burn their stuff up.
Two drivers that have a lot of respect for each other, racing each other very clean. They're racing each other hard, but they're making sure not to get into each other. That might end if we're still like this on the last lap. I think you'll start to see some beating and banging.
Coming out of 4 there, Jason was leaning hard on that right rear and kept it going. Almost contact.
Did they touch?
That was close enough that Netcode could have jumped in. Thank God it didn't.
Garrett Kinder's going to try to take advantage on the outside of Cameron Combs. We talked about it before that restart, maybe saving those tires a little bit while these two are battling. And, I mean, if he can get second right now, he has a chance as Cameron Combs gets tight. I mean, you're seeing Cameron Combs' tires. He'll blink back in eventually. You're seeing Cameron Combs has worn those tires off, and he just maybe has nothing left. I mean.
Oh, man, that was
now Warren's got to hope he's still got some tires left because Kinder is not going to make it easy on him either.
That was some of the best racing I think we've seen all season.
That was awesome.
It's unfortunate that it wasn't able to carry over to the end of the race, but that's a lot to ask for 18 more laps of that. Cameron Combs, I mean, he threw the kitchen sink at Jason Warren and trying to pass him and just was never able to. It doesn't matter what line he was in, and I mean, he's back into 4th now, so it's not completely over for him. But he's not in that second position anymore, and he's in even more dirty air right now.
Yep.
And you talked about it earlier with Cameron with the wins that he has and the solid position he has going into the playoffs. I believe that was a throwing everything he had at Jason Warren because he was I think he was going in record checker mode.
Well, he got tight and almost got up into Garrett Kinder. It was almost wrecker mode, but he was able to save it, thankfully.
Matthew Mann sitting in third right now.
And holding off Cameron, so that's it's going to get fun here at the end.
Now the question is, does anybody have anything for Jason Warren? Garrett Kinder sticking with him, but not really catching him. Cameron Combs, he's looking to make a pass for third. This race is not over for that 15 machine.
Maybe his tires cooled off a little bit. He's got a little bit left. Who knows?
But he entered really low into one, and that hurt him a lot.
If I'm Jason and Garrett right now, the best thing they can do is run 1-2 and try and get as far away from the rest of the field as they can.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that Garrett saw all that battling action, and maybe he's got a little bit something for Jason, but he wants to save it still as late in this race as he can before he makes his move on him. Or maybe Jason is just going to run away from him.
Tanner Maher right now trying to make a move on Cameron Combs for the 4th position. I mean, we have first through, it looks about 6th or 7th, all within, no, that's first through 8th, all within about a second or two of each other. So a lot of close racing here. And Cameron Combs does get himself back into that 4th position. And here comes Garrett Kinder, not to the back bumper necessarily, but he's getting closer and closer, it looks like.
And those laps can't tick down fast enough for Jason, and they're ticking too fast for Garrett right now.
Right. It's always the situation that you're in, which, you know, ultimately depends on how, or it really, whatever position you're in is how fast or slow those laps are going by. You mentioned Jason Warren. They can't go by fast enough in the lead, and then you have a different situation. Garrett Kinder trying to win this race right now in second, and they're just going by a little too quick for that 76 machine. But he's there. He just needs a little bit more speed.
Well,
I think right now I'm kind of saving my stuff, seeing if Jason can back up to me a little bit. And if he starts backing up to you, then it's time to just go.
Yeah, but that you run the danger of him just running away, and then you have no chance. So it's a tricky situation, and I'm glad I'm not in the car right now.
You got to try to balance saving with staying in contact, because if you get too far behind, it's over.
And look who's in third. Cameron's come back, so I don't think he's done yet.
No, we've seen the speed of that race car all night long. It's just all depends on how worn out that right front tire is after all that battling. We saw him push up multiple times, and we talked about it way earlier in the race, how if you push up, that right front tire is going to lose a lot of grip, and he did that multiple times. So we'll see how much grip those tires have left in them to try to make a run for the lead. He's only 0.8 back from Jason Warren right now with 10 laps to go.
Man, this is it. They've spread out a little bit, but this is far from over, and they're going to have to work through some lap traffic. So hopefully those guys stay out of the way.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but I believe that Spencer Gay in the 11, him and Jason Warren almost made contact on the back stretch.
Oh, that would have been heartbreaking.
Yeah, these lap cars got to realize that these guys are racing for the win. They need to make sure they're looking at their relative and staying out of these guys' way. But it didn't seem to upset Jason's car too much. He's back in back hitting his marks.
Yeah, and at 7 laps to go, he's got a half second over Garrett Kinder, and it has not been closing up.
As we're riding along with Jason here, just seeing what he's doing with that wheel as he's going down to 8 laps to go now, and you know those tires are worn out, and he just does not want to caution at this point with 8 laps to go, coming to 7. And wrecking right in front of him. Caution.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
And everything that Jason Warren did not want has happened. That's going to bring Garrett Kinder and Cameron Combs right back up to him. And, man, nobody wanted that to come out like Jason Warren. Or nobody wanted it not to come out, sorry.
Yeah. Garrett Kinder's not upset about it, but Jason's like, oh no.
Well, this does give them a time to cool down their tires. So don't be surprised if you see some of the leaders running below the apron, trying to get as much cool air as they can on those tires for these last couple laps.
Well, we're going to have not necessarily a green, white checkered, but we will have a late race restart here, which always seems to happen. Of course, we always mention it.
I believe we'll go back. We should go back with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, if we get the if they get the 2 to green next time by, or I'm trying to look at it right now. Yeah, 2 to green next time by, then that would be the case. So, I mean, Jason Warren had, an 8/10 lead, pretty comfortable with 8 laps to go, and we were on board when you saw the car right in front of him spin out. The only good thing about that was that he didn't hit that car. I mean, that's for him, that's the only positive that came out of that.
Well, for a couple of guys running in the tail end of the lead lap, the 99 came in, apparently had a left side set of tires left, came in and got him, get some damage fixed. And the 6 just got his last set of tires, so he should be able to run up through the field and gain some spots there.
I think the racing gods saw that they weren't battling for the lead anymore, and were like, no, we got to change this. You got to battle for the lead to the end of the race. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's God saying, oh, I want to see that again. Let's throw a caution.
Hey, I mean, I feel bad for Warren because, he has to get a win in one of these eventually, but I'm excited for this restart. Strictly from a broadcast standpoint, this is going to be a very exciting finish.
I can tell you that after this race is over, if Jason Warren wins this race and we pull him in, it's going to be hard for him to talk because he's going to be out of breath.
Hopefully he's not blue like you were maybe describing yourself as, holding his breath. And
I think I can see his heartbeat through his car right now.
Yeah, well, I think I forgot what I was going to say.
When I manage to get up there in the top 5, my heart starts pumping and I get a little, I get that adrenaline going. Hey, this is good here, but I think my adrenaline's running a little further just watching Jason Combs race.
Yeah, I mean, humans can hold their breath for a good amount of time, but racers it seems like they can hold their breath for a lot longer than any other human's able to. Just because, I mean, you can be in that situation with 20 to go and feel like obviously you are breathing, but it can feel like you never took a breath in those 20 laps.
Sometimes I think they ought to add to the spotter, okay, remember to breathe.
Right. As the lights are off, and we are going to go back racing with 3 laps to go here at Chicagoland Speedway to finish out the regular season here in the Original Rebels Racing League Saturday Night Send It Cup Series. No better way to finish out this great, entertaining season that we've had all throughout the regular season than a 3-lap shootout. And, well, there's nothing saying that we won't have a green, white checkered, but I won't go there yet.
Well, you're here. This is just as exciting. I know we've had a few cautions tonight, but this is just as exciting. It was a great race last week with no cautions, but this has been awesome.
There's different levels, or there's different kinds of exciting races, right? So you have the exciting race where it goes green the whole way. And then you have a race like this where you have a lot of green flag runs, but you do have cautions, but a lot of exciting racing in between, to where it doesn't really it doesn't make those cautions matter as much because you've had such good racing for so long.
And then you bring them all back together.
Yep, with 3 laps to go to finish out the race, or potentially finish out the race. That pace car pulls off.
Go get her, boys.
And the green flag is out as Jason Warren spins the tires once again, and Garrett Kinder on the outside. Cameron Combs behind him in 3rd, and you see Matthew Mann. He's consistently stayed in this top 4 here at the end of this race.
Yeah, Cameron ran over Jason Warren there on that start.
As you're going to see Jason Warren try to protect it. Garrett Kinder's going to go to the outside. As we're going to come to the 2 to go. We need to get to the white flag before a caution could potentially or would bring us to a green-white checkered. But that's 1 lap ahead of us as Jason Warren leads this lap. And he needs two more to get that elusive cup victory that he's not been able to get.
Warren would have loved to have done that on the last lap and get up there and put some dirty air on Kinder, but he had Cameron Combs breathing down his neck and he couldn't do it.
Garrett Kinder, he wants that win just as badly. I believe he does not have a win on the season. So you have 2 drivers here in the top 2 that are trying to get that first win of the season on the last race to get that momentum into the playoffs as we're coming out of 4, and we are going to collect the white flag. 1 to go for Jason Warren in that 32 to try to collect his first win of the season.
And Matthew Mann just passed up Cameron Combs for 3rd.
What a race for Matthew Mann.
So glad to see him up there fighting for this win.
All right.
He doesn't have the time to get there. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Jason Warren just needs to take it easy out of the turn. Heartbreak last week, but not this time around. Jason Warren wins in the Saturday Night Syndicate Cup Series here at Chicagoland Speedway.
Let's go.
Okay, you can breathe now.
Jason Warren finally gets it done. I mean, you know he was disgusted with himself last week after wrecking himself, and he does the best thing you can do after that, and that's come back the next week and win.
Yeah, you know he was sweating bullets on that last restart.
Garrett Kinder bringing it home 2nd. Matthew Mann in 3rd. Cameron Combs drops back to 4th. Tanner Maher 5th. Josh Sexton in 6th. Jeff Paisley finished 7th. Charles Stevens bringing it home 8th. Michael Swink in 9th. And Chuck Feltz, go Chuck, rounding out the top 10.
Good for Chuck getting the top 10.
Yeah, great race for him. I fully expect to see that 32 machine maybe get ran over after his burnouts. That's something that they've started to do over there in Full Send.
There's 25 cars in the race, and 24 of them are going to run into that 32, I think.
I mean,
he surprised if he blew the engine on that.
Yeah, he does there. He's been waiting for this big car win, you could call it, and he finally gets it as there the car goes.
And here comes Garrett Kinder.
It's kind of hard to run into him when you're in grass.
I think he's giving him a push so he can get him out there on some traction.
Michael Swink behind him. I mean, what a better, what a way to end the regular season. What a fantastic race. 133 laps at Chicagoland, and
he's gonna get pushed for his victory lap. That is awesome.
That is a good teammate right there.
And I know if Elliot Longenecker had a car, because unfortunately he was a part of the wrecks earlier. There you go. Elliot Longenecker would be one of the cars up here wrecking him if he could.
Oh man, I am glad to see Jason get that first win. Being in and out of the team chats all the time, seeing him get that first win is just is incredible.
Well, speaking of the man, Jason Warren, you got a copy.
What's up, my man?
Man, I mean, that was not an easy win at all. You had to hold off Cameron Combs for a long time, Garrett Kinder as well. Just take us through it, man. What a great race.
I have literally never driven so hard in my entire life. Props to Cameron. That dude, he rarely talks. He's a really phenomenal guy. He actually got me in my first ever league on iRacing. He doesn't talk much, but he's such a great driver. He drives clean. I was going literally wide open all the way around, just praying that the car would stick and willing the living crap out of it, and just praying that highline would stick. My man, Garrett Kinder, his parents raised a phenomenal man. All his family, he's been amazing to me. He's tried to keep my head up. Elliot Longenecker, Logan Sturgeon, even you helped me out at Kentucky last week, and I was probably, you should have won that race until crapped all over the bed. What a great win. I can't say enough. I could probably talk for another 30 minutes.
Hey there. That was an amazing race, and congratulations on the win. You deserve it. I saw you running that middle line a lot and making that thing work really well off the corners. I think I saw you practicing that during our practice session. Was that the case?
In practice, I was trying the lower and mid, but I was going to stick with the lower lane until I got behind Cameron. And I'm not going to lie, he was faster than me tonight. But I was going to make his life absolutely hell to get by me. Even letting him get to the inside of me, and I just gunned it. I mean, either the car was going to stick or I was going to hit the wall. It's either winners or checkers right now. No more second. I think I've came second like literally 6 times this season. So I just let him be inside, stayed on the outside, and floored the frickin' thing. You know, I was going to hit the wall and wreck again, or I was going to come out a winner, and here we are. Love it, boys.
So Jason, you brought the most BDE ever that I've seen to any race tonight. Take us through what was going through your mind on that last caution when the lap car spun right in front of you.
I literally looked at my fiance watching the broadcast and said, "God must hate me." That's literally like we're screwed, or I'm screwed. It's done. But you know, I mean, Cameron on the restart before that timed it better than I did. Like it was a phenomenal restart, and I was like, "Oh snap!" And then me and him went at it from there. I tried to do a crossover on him. He blocked it, and I went to the outside and. I mean, he raced me completely clean. He's a pure class act. This league is really lucky to have him. That and Garrett Kinder and his mom and dad are actually amazing.
I made several comments during those last 30 laps. I was turning blue, holding my breath. So I'm pretty sure Logan mentioned that we saw your heart beating through the car in iRacing. You got any shout outs for us?
I think I've been kind of an ass to my wonderful fiance today, and been kind of a rough day. But she always watches my broadcast. She's actually watching right now. She watches all my races, and she's always there for me whenever I screw up or a car blinks into me and puts me through 4 or 5 walls. She's always there for me. So this race is to her. It's my niece's Waylon's birthday. She's beaten cancer twice. She's 3 years old. Huge shout out to her. Elliot Longenecker, Logan Sturgeon, Garrett Kinder, Garrett Kinder's parents, uncle, aunt, nephews, nieces, Zach, Sam, all you guys for broadcasting. Josh Oswald for winning 35 street stock races. I mean, all you guys, Michael Swink, Ray Page, Full Send Racing, Jason Lottridge, the king of super speedways. I mean, I could go on and on for days. This win, I've won a lot of races on here, and this win truly means a lot to me.
Well, it was very emotional for us. I know we're unbiased up here in the booth, but not tonight there at the end. We were really happy to see you win. Congratulations again, and I know we're going to see you in victory lane again.
Yeah, we're going for a championship now.
Go get it. Thank you.
Thanks. You guys have a good night.
Congrats once again to Jason Warren, our race winner. We're going to move on now to second place, Garrett Kinder. Garrett, you got a copy? Well, I know kind of all the spotlights is on Jason Warren for winning that race, but a fantastic race from you two as well. You were up there near the end for the lead. You just, unfortunately, maybe not enough time on that restart with only 3 to go. Take us through that last restart.
That last restart, once again, Cameron got a halfway decent jump, so I was really focused on at least securing P2. Jason and Cameron were both on rails all night, and I was pretty fortunate to get into the P2 spot. But guys, what the heck? How about that number 32? Getting that W. That's fantastic.
Hey, they're late in the race. You see Cameron and Jason battling side by side. Were you licking your chops back there trying to save a little bit, thinking maybe they were going to burn it up and you were going to steal the win?
Completely honest, whenever I would get a run on them, I'd back up to about 3/4 throttle and just watch, because that was some of the best racing I've seen in a long time in front of and through my windshield. That was it. It was great to watch. Yeah, we got to race, and I got to get up there and mess with them a little bit, but both those cars were on rails all night. But yes, whenever I saw them racing, I was hungry for it, but I'm very happy with the result.
Logan. Okay. Garrett, you got any shout outs for us?
Well, I want to thank my new sponsor came on board, Kinder Farm and Ranch, for all your farming and ranching needs. Hit up Kinder Farm and Ranch. Thank my mom and dad. Of course, I thank Jason. Thank everybody and their dog that I was normally going to thank. So shout out to Jason there.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody. Full send.
Did your mom and dad adopt him, or?
You know, they've been blowing my phone up ever since he started talking about him. And Jason, they say thank you, by the way. But mom, dad, they're watching the race. Brother, sister-in-law, niece, nephew, friends, family, whoever's watching, thank y'all for tuning in. It was that was a blast. I loved every second of it. Full send, Original Rebels Racing, all y'all up in the booth, and it was just fantastic night. I loved every second of it.
Well, thank you, Garrett. Great finish for you tonight. Great race, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
10-4.
All right, and now we're going to move on finally to our third place finisher, Matthew Mann. Matthew, you got a copy? You got a copy, Matthew? Oh, there he is. Well, hey, man, we talked about you all night long, about how, you took a little hiatus off of iRacing. You come back, and, I mean, what a better way to, come back than to finish top 3 in the podium. Take us through your race, and how fun was it out there?
Matthew.
Still dealing with some lung issues here.
Oh, okay.
I'm dealing with post-COVID syndrome, and my lungs don't work, so I end up getting these coughing fits, which is where I've been. I'm honestly blown away the support from the community here, and you guys taking care of me, and the prayers and support from you guys have been awesome. So I got to say thank you for that. The race tonight, just like I say, I really didn't expect it. I was pretty slow in qualifying and practice, and it just kind of came together with the long runs, and was able to manage the tires, and it worked out well.
We kind of kept an eye on you early tonight. Was a decent starting spot, and you were making moves. You were moving up a spot here, a spot there. Before we realized it, you're in the top 5. Was your plan to just, because it looked like you were running really smooth laps, was your plan to save those tires and see where it got you at the end?
Yeah, that's always my plan on tracks like Chicago and Kansas is, let the long runs come to you, and just kind of get up and keep it nice and smooth, manage the tires, and yeah, it worked out well. People getting loose coming out of the corners, they just kind of moved out of the way for me.
Well, Matt, I had said at the beginning of the broadcast, don't be surprised if we see your car up in the top 5 towards the end of it. And thankfully you proved me right tonight. It's been it was awesome watching you work through the field tonight, and we are very excited to have you back, and hopefully you're back with us for the long run.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can keep. We got a new medical plan to help manage it, so hopefully I can get a few weeks strung together here.
Well, great race tonight, Matthew. Welcome back, and great way to come back. You got shout outs for us?
Yeah, I gotta thank the community here for the support while I've been kind of sitting on the outskirts looking in. Gotta thank my wife. I don't have much now, so, and then Full Send Graphics, awesome paint job on the car. They threw it together for me in a hurry, and turned out great.
Well, awesome night tonight. Congratulations on that 3rd place finish, and hopefully we talk to you again. See you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks.
Well, a great run from all three of our podium finishers there at the end of the race. Fantastic race all along, or all around, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up the results, and while I do, I'll send it over to you two for your final thoughts on tonight's race.
Whew.
Well, I'm gonna.
That's all I can say is, whew.
Yeah. Tonight was one of the best races I think that across all series that we've had. And shout outs to Jason, Garrett, Matthew for the top three. It was insane watching just from a fan's point of view. My heart was racing during it. But Sam, I'm gonna leave it to you and Zach. I have to sign off. So it's been fun calling the race with you guys tonight.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Logan.
Thanks for joining us tonight, Logan.
I don't know what would have happened if Jason would have had a problem. I don't know if we'd have been able to come up with anything to say for a while. It would have been crickets on this broadcast. He's had some bad luck in the past, but he kind of threw all that out the window and ran a very hard, smart race. And like he said, it was either going to go on the wall or go across the finish line first. That was very exciting. I'm glad to have been a part of it.
Yeah, and real quick before we sign off here soon, I did message him, but he didn't reply. So, quick shout out to Cameron Combs, our regular season champion, heading into the playoffs. Those 4 wins should help him out with bonus points. Maybe he'll get bonus points for winning the regular series championship as well. So, a fantastic season from him to not only get the wins but consistently finish well and stay up in the number 1 position in points. So he finished 4th tonight. We didn't get to talk to him, but great showing from him all season long. Great showing from everybody this season, and I can't wait for the playoffs to start in a couple weeks. So yeah, this race.
You mean it's going to get more exciting?
Yeah, I mean,
holy cow.
Now we're going to add the stakes of an actual championship. You know, I mean, we talk about regular series champion or regular season championship, but that means nothing in the end because it's all about that main in the end championship. And I mean, if you thought the racing between Garrett, Jason, Cameron tonight was crazy racing, that wasn't even for a championship. So. It's going to get even more insane as we go along. We have Talladega in the schedule, so a lot of great racing, a lot of different variety of tracks left in the schedule with the 5 remaining races.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, watching the show tonight, we are going to be broadcasting from the campground at Talladega Superspeedway on that Saturday night. That's going to be awesome.
Yep, so make sure to tune in. If you like racing here, or if you like watching the racing here at Chicago, make sure to tune in tomorrow night where you'll see us in the trucks on Intensity Broadcasting. We won't be with you next week, but in 2 weeks, like we said, we'll be starting out the playoffs at Texas Motor Speedway, so make sure to tune in for that. But thank you for tuning in to tonight's race. We appreciate you guys that tuned in throughout the regular season. Once again, congratulations to Jason Warren. Shout out to Logan for joining us tonight in the booth. But it's been Zach and Sam Wetstein from the booth here in Rebels Racing Network. Have a good night.